here's the thing about your movie, why I made a curator's pick of the Hollywood Fringe Festival. Community, heart, you're doing it.
Finished the book, actually called White Trash by Nancy Eisenberg. Dope book. 400 Years of White Misery. It's just crazy, but she breaks it down. She does break it down and talks about, how white people really survived in the United States. It wasn't this rosy, they just came over and was given land. Dudes were slaves, right along with blacks, right along with Asians building the railroads. The Irish had the worst time in the United States and in England. Well, because of England, actually, the Irish, worse than Africans. The Irish, the English had more respect for Africans, even though they were enslaving Africans, they still had more respect for Africans than the Irish. There used to be signs up that said, no blacks, no Irish, no dogs in England. And they threw everybody out, 100,000 Irish people. They threw them out of England, and they were brought here to the United States to work as slaves, not indentured service. That term wouldn't come for like another 50 to 75 years. These brothers and sisters were here as slaves. And guess who was slaving them too? French Africans, black people from France was slaving Irish people in Florida. You gotta go back to the Bourbon, what is called the Bourbon monarchy. Goes all the way back to this guy. Come on, give me his name. Haiti defeated the French. Louis Louverture. Louverture. The full name. Come on. Toussaint Louverture. Toussaint Louverture and Boukman Dadi, who was his side man on that. Created the revolution, and all of that is what destabilized Florida and the Africans in Florida, the Louisiana Purchase, all that freed these white people from African terrorism, basically. And it's a story that very few people know, because all we get to hear about is just blacks enslaved whites, and that's it. And you get, maybe a little bit on the Trail of Tears, and it's like, oh, well, the Native Americans were somewhere in the mix, and that was just that. But when you go back and really look at the story, like I said, everyone participated in evil and everyone participated in good. And you got to ask yourself, what side of history you really going to be on? Gentleman right here.
All right, my name is Bobby Tony Gucci. It's a pleasure to be here today with you, man. I came a little late, but I just wanted to touch on set up a situation for my question. We're in a climate right now where a lot of women are speaking out about sexual harassment, sexual assault, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I know in hip hop, the objectification of women has been real prudent, but female MCs in the 90s and the late 80s have had a bigger standing out than they do now in the present day. And in that climate of women coming out and speaking about the injustices upon them, I just want to know what your opinion is and what your advice is on brothers like us and how kings like us can build our queens up in the realm of hip hop so that they can stand on the same ground that we do when it comes to that stage or rocking that microphone.
No doubt. I personally, from a personal point of view, I actually am kind of proud of the Me Too movement, and I say kind of. I have my reservations, but I begin with a pride, because if you go back and look at what I've been putting forward, my music for the last 30 years, even my writings, book writings, and so on, I always try to hail up the goddess and the feminine. Take a look at all the books, the gospel of hip hop as well. We speak of the anonymous person as the she, so that our readers can begin to break that term that human is represented by man, that God is represented by the masculine, that whatever we are using is what we call she or her, and what is authoritative is called him. I've been writing against that for 30 years. I've been rhyming against that for 30 years. To go to your question directly on that, and let me just say, that's what I say, I think this movement is dope these days, okay? I think it's a great thing, because I see the abuses that women go through and have gone through for many years. Matter of fact, it's not even many years. It's, you can go back to Adam and Eve, you know what I'm saying? Like, from the very beginning, women have been abused by men. But let me go over now and say this to what I say to my daughter. My daughter's 19. And, you know, she's seeing everything as well. And what I say to her, first of all, is when it comes to men, and like the Me Too movement is not just women, men are coming out as well in that, saying, look, this dude, this woman, or somebody, you know, abused me or, you know, approached me in an inappropriate manner. All kinds of people are coming out. But there's something about self-respect. Okay, just something about self-respect. Now, I can't put this on everybody because I don't know everybody's story. I don't know what everybody's story is. But what I do know is my little town is called the Bronx. I was born in Brooklyn, raised in the Bronx and in Harlem. And where I come from, if somebody is touching you in a way that you feel that is inappropriate, they get knocked out. Okay, the girls I know, you're not touching them anywhere that they're not, you know, allowing you to touch them at. I don't know what these women are going, I can't define it, okay? But I teach my daughter how to fight, okay? Straight up. Just because you're a girl, that don't mean nothing. You are a human being. You can ball your hand into a fist and it can beat somebody's jaw. That is it. First of all, women, me personally, like I said, I can't speak for everybody. But I know my daughter is not going to allow somebody to put their hands on her. She's not going to fight and say, yo, you getting knocked out. Then her brothers are going to hear about it, and it's over for her, whoever the dude is. Then if dad hears about it, it's all, now you got the family. Okay? So I'm saying, where are all these women's families? Where's their brothers? Where's their sisters? Where, you know, well, he touched me and drugged me, and he da-da-da-da-da. What were you doing there? What were you doing there? You know what dudes about. You had to hurt something. What are you doing there? Self-respect. If my daughter comes back and says, Dad, I came on a date and the guy really, my first thing is, it's not going to be you to like, what did you do wrong? But it's going to be like, what did I teach you? What I teach you will prevent all of that. First of all, what about courting? You don't just meet a man and jump in the bed. That's the problem. We don't want to talk about that part of it. We just want to say, oh, he touched me. No, you didn't have to be in the room to begin with. You could have came, had a drink, and left. But you thought you was going to get something. You thought, see, I'm from the Bronx. I don't know this other, I don't know what this is. But EPMD made a record called Gold Diggers, okay? And my culture points it out, okay? We got girls in our culture that's scheming just like dudes. They're scheming too. Look at Mike Tyson. Caught a rape charge. I know he didn't rape that girl. And the reason I know is I was there. I was there. It was a beauty pageant. And it was me and Mike Tyson and Farrakhan's son and Jesse Jackson's son. Jesse Jackson, we were all there. These girls are throwing themselves at us. They're the beauty pageant. These are the most beautiful girls. They are the beauty pageant. They throwing them, Mike Tyson, KRS, oh. Me, Farrakhan's son, and Jesse Jackson Jr., we was like, goodbye. We're out of here. We left Mike Tyson there. We left him on a couch with girls all over him. We was like, yo, dude, we out. Boom, we left. I saw snubbed it right there. Boom, I'm out of here. We went right upstairs. Everybody chilled. 2 weeks later too, by the way. He raped me. He touched me. Same thing happened with Tupac. Tupac was up on rape charges. Tupac raping anybody. He just kissed Janet Jackson. Like, what is it? What are you raping? It wasn't, no, you trying to get over. And this is the point that I say, I can't, this is not everyone's story, because there's some real animals in this industry that's abusing everybody. Okay, they just get off on it, and that's what it is. And there needs to be some ethnic cleansing. People don't want to say that word because it becomes Rwanda, some craziness. But you begin to see how a culture can arrive at ethnic cleansing.
teach you rights outside.
Okay. You know, that question is bigger than the time we have here. And that should have been the whole lecture.
Can you touch on like the climate of like, you know, female MCs and how there
Let me
has
put
to
a
be
period.
only one, there can't be more than one female MC, and it makes it stringent. I mean, me and my homegirl were talking in the car, there's a billion male MCs that we can charge with, but why is it only one Cardi B? There's only one Nicki Minaj. Like, there can't be a substance of women MCs that we can appreciate and we can lift up, just like we do Kings.
This is a college dissertation. This is a PhD right here, because this is a deep question. That rap is very assertive. You gotta push yourself. You gotta express something through rhyme. A lot of women are not that assertive in that way for some reason. And I don't even. Please forgive my lack of articulation here. Try to feel what it is I'm saying. Even jump in with words that'll help me flush this out. But when you say, why is it only a 1 or a 2 or a 3? And when I was coming up, it was MC Light, it was Queen Latifah,
exactly.
like this. But keep in mind that these women had to compete with guys.
It's harder for us.
And it's difficult as well because hip hop has not yet embraced a feminine anything. Okay, and I say that unequivocally. Yes, we praise the mother, no doubt. All of hip hop understands the power of mother. All of hip hop understands the power of sister. Even, and let me say this, let us not get caught up in the morality of the state versus our own morality. Like, for instance, when you look at Latifah's record, Unity, U-N-I-T-Y, go back and let's listen to that as scholars now. Go back, get it on your phone, listen to it. When she says, you know, I don't mind, she's talking about the word bitch. She said, I don't mind if we playing, it's cool. But don't you be calling me out my name. I bring wreck to those who try to treat me like a dame. So it's like there's two sides to this that is actually cultural. Women call women bitches all the time. Sure, that's my bitch right there chilling. This is what it is. But the way you say it, who's saying it, what time you saying it, the tone in which, remember, that's first. The tone in which you spitting this right now is going to tell me how you coming. So part of your question is, well, why aren't there more women coming, you know, this way? And in a lot of ways, it's kind of cool that it's not a lot of women. And here's why.
There's no unity in women.
Come on, speak that.
We compete a lot, you know, but that's just how women are. It's like if you're trying to get a guy's attention and another girl likes him, you're gonna try and compete against that. To me, it's like this game is my who I wanna persuade. You know what I mean? Like, who I wanna get attention. So I'm gonna try and be the best that I can be because I'm a female artist. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at the same time, we all have to unite as women because us as women together we're more stronger than we are apart. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's real talk. But see, what you said the key thing though, and I wasn't even going to touch on that, but the sister just brought something up, that women are more competitive, or you just say more, but I'm saying women are highly competitive in that sense, and maybe that's the reason why. Men will group up. In a minute, men will become a crew, men will become a team. But women might be, or should I say, hip-hop's women, or urban women, or, you know, women who are willing to speak up for themselves are usually in competition with each other. And that's an interesting thing to look at because that's something we should try to combat, try to at least deal with.
You said something earlier about you support cooperation more than competition.
Yes, I'm more with cooperation. In this area, this is where cooperation is way more important than competition.
I got a quick question. Just since you mentioned that word, cooperation,
yes.
I mean, we should, I'm a cannabis man.
Yes, so I noticed. No, just tell me the question.
That made me want to just visualize you're in Canada, because I've been waiting for that. Like, you're in Canada doing a nice project.
Like, give us some music.
No, I'm looking at when you talk about cannabis. There's an artist named Cannabis. And he's saying that he's a fan of the artist Cannabis. Let us be clear. Let us be clear. No, cannabis is great. Lyricist-wise, he's actually one of the people I would like to spit with on that level. Throughout the years, me and him have gone at each other in that sense. But he's definitely somebody I'd be willing. Oh no, of course. Cannabis is anybody with that level of skill. I'm definitely showing respect and trying to be down. Come on, jump in.
I just have one question. It's probably for another time, but how are we gonna bridge the gap between the older generation and the new one? Show me something that you know about the old school.
Listen,
So I mean, how like I understand, I know how you.
Nah, man, come on.
You can't.
This is
How do we? Yeah,
first of all, that is an hour, 2 hours. Okay? That's an hour, 2 hours. And let me say this too, that we should come back and do this more often. We should repeat this as much as we can. I'm right there in LA. I'm right there in LA. The 4-hour ride up until they build that train. And yeah, no, we should do this more often to tackle situations just like this. Just like this. We put a period on it and bring it to a close. On your question of the elders, the generation gap, we have already done it. The quick answer is that we have already done it. I'm 52. Me, right? I'm an elder. Okay, I'm an elder. I got my AARP card. Okay. Now, this elder understands what you're saying, which is why we formed what is called the Temple of Hip Hop, to approach those like Amigos or others, even Little Kim and others that may need. I don't want to call these people's names out, you know what I'm saying? Not like Little Kim. Little Kim is actually dope. But the thing is that no, I mention them because they may not read as much as we read. They may not be in settings like this every day. They're not. Come on, sis. They're not. And it's not. And again, it's not something to look down upon. A lot of the elders, you know, like I forgot which maybe y'all can tell me who it was.
Joe Glenn.
No. It was actually a female artist that was took a line from Tribe Called Quest, but didn't know who Tribe Called Quest was. This was a while back, and I mentioned that to say that no, it is our responsibility as elders of the culture to put the culture in front of our children, educate them. Even if they reject it, fine, they throw you out, they reject it, no problem. That's their immaturity. If you standing on truth, they gonna get it eventually. If it's truth that you standing on, they'll reject you when they're young, but as they get older, the intensity of that rejection is gonna turn into respect. So I said, just to answer your question directly, we have already done that. We're not gonna allow it. You know, everybody, look, humanity needs knowledge. We live off that. Come on.
Like Kendrick and J. Cole, don't you think they're doing a good job kind of pushing?
Yes, but only in music. Only in music. What we're doing here is called revolution. This is culture. This is bigger than. That's That's right. It's bigger than. No, but here's the point: is that yes, we need education, we need knowledge. If you call yourself a scholar of hip hop or a citizen of our nation, then you don't look down on young people because of their immaturity. Because what? We've already learned now what that feels like. Come on, say it again.
They will learn that one day.
And if you standing on truth, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. So we ended up with this. It's a deeper question than this. How do we go back and get our grandparents?
If they see us doing it, they're gonna want to do it.
You know what? Wait a minute. You just opened up something.
If they see us doing it,
Right.
they're gonna want to do it.
Well, this is the point.
Yeah.
This is the point. We don't see enough of our elders spitting raw on the mic. We don't see enough of our elders dabbing. Yeah! We don't see enough of the elders.
That's why I feel like our generation, like I have kids and my kids know about that whole, I really don't let my kids listen to no mainstream music.
Wow.
That
We
is
all
how it
said
is
the
in my
culture,
house.
they was looking at y'all like y'all was crazy too.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But if you stand on truth, everybody comes around eventually. The idea is for us not to be moved. We can't be moved. That's the issue. If we are moved and we drop the ball and say, well, you know, hip hop might not be a culture. You know, it's just, it's just music. If we start wavering, and then we have lost the culture. We have fallen. But I'm proud of what young people are doing today. I don't watch the TV radio. That's stupidity. But when you go to the universities these days as well, you go to the community centers, you go out to where people are really spitting, really getting it in. You see the talent and you see the love for the culture.